Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Shout out to my newest patron, Carl C. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. A correction from yesterday's episode when I was calculating the theoretical pack size with these new 4680s and the third generation in 2024. Instead of 118 watt hours, I accidentally used 180 for the math. So the real answer looks like this. 118 times 960 cells divided by 1,000 to get 113.3 kilowatt hours as a potential pack size for these new 4680s by 2024. This would be a 36.5% increase over the current Model Y pack size of about 83 kilowatt hours. I was actually a few articles deep and I thought to myself, you know what, I should go back and do the math on the high end. Wasn't planning to do it, was going too fast. So for that, I apologize. My mistake. Unfortunately, the time has come. We need to talk about this macro disaster because clearly it has implications for Tesla stock and Tesla as a company. And look, the point of me doing this is not at all to try to predict what's going to happen. It's just to lay out some historical precedents to give you information so you can make informed decisions. The blue line is the actual inflation rate for the 1970s, and this is starting in 1972. The red line is the current inflation rate starting in January of 2020. The point here is just to show you that there is historical precedence for inflation remaining high for an extended period of time. Of course, now we have the lessons of this decade, and I'm not at all trying to say that inflation is going to remain elevated for the next 8 to 10 years. However, from what I pick up on social media and comments, I think a lot of people think that in a few weeks or a few months, this problem is just going to go away. So I want you to be prepared for the event that that does not happen. Yes, there were myriad reasons for high inflation in the 70s, but two of the bigger ones, money printing and oil prices. Fast forward to today, what are two big issues that we're facing? Money printing and oil prices. In 1972, M1 went from 228 billion to 249, or about a 10% increase, and as of today, we have experienced a much greater increase in M1 than 10%. Fast forward to today, and oil prices are approaching $100 per barrel, and presumably they could go significantly higher, with sanctions expected to come from multiple countries given what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, which by the way is not headed in the right direction based on the developments over the last 24 hours. Once again, to drive home my point here of this current macro disaster, it doesn't look like it's going to be resolved and going away anytime soon, definitely not in the next few days and presumably not in the next few weeks or months either. I just want to be a voice that can potentially prepare you for what the downside risks really are and the duration of how long these risks may actually last. And I've been saying for months now that I think Tesla could dip below $800 a share, and we're getting pretty close as of today. Look, a lot of people thought Tesla would never go below $1,000 a share again, but we have to remember the future is uncertain. Stuff like this unfortunately happens, and you always have to be prepared. And two high-level implications of what this might mean for Tesla as a company. One, this situation could add to more uncertainty and congestion at the ports. And two, on the brighter side, this could spur more EV adoption because of what might happen with oil prices and the uncertainty there. So a subtle win. Although overall, this is a very sad and unfortunate situation. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody over in this area. And remember, it's typically all of this uncertainty that presents the best buying opportunities for long-term investors. We might just have a lot more sideways, if not more downside action to come. All right, moving on to some more encouraging news from the Ministry of Industry and Information. Tesla produced 68,117 cars in January out of Shanghai. This makes for an 817,000 car annual run rate. Compare that to Tesla's actual production in 2021 of 485,700 vehicles. The previous monthly high was December of 2021 with 66,759. And remember, Giga Shanghai is currently in the midst of expansion for the first half of this year, spending about $188 million on that expansion. So apparently Tesla is pretty liberal with its production capacity estimates for its different plants, as this is what it had for Giga Shanghai. I thought this was pretty funny. Eric asked Elon, when do you sleep? Elon said, Tuesday. From Inside EVs, Texas EV drivers may get a $200 to $400 fee to replace the gas tax, but I want to show you what this would really mean. So look at these numbers. The current gas tax in Texas is 20 cents per gallon. We'll compare that to a $400 annual tax on EVs because with what we know, it'll presumably be toward the high end of the range. If we assume 12,000 miles per year driven and do some math, 12,000 miles divided by 6 miles per gallon would be 2,000 gallons that individual would pay a gas tax on. 2,000 gallons times a 20-cent gas tax would be $400, or the equivalent. So with these assumptions, this measure would effectively charge EV owners the equivalent of a 6 mile per gallon ICE car. And I understand the need to replace the gas tax, I just think there are better ways to do it. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Charity Stars, but this time we're bringing you the chance to win a 2022 Rivian R1T with the adventure package and $10,000 cash. Per the usual, taxes and shipping will be included for United States winners. And listen, if you're a Cybertruck person, you can still enter, support a charity, and then if you win, you can sell the Rivian and buy a Cybertruck. You can do so at charitystars.com/electrified and use coupon code electrified for 100 free entries. Charity Stars really is an awesome fundraising platform that helps raise money for charitable causes. For this sweepstakes, donations will benefit the Adopt the Arts Foundation, a charity whose mission is to support art and music programs to students where funding is being cut in hundreds of elementary schools. And you guys probably know the quad motor R1T has received glowing initial reviews. 314 miles of range, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, can tow up to 11,000 pounds, and the adventure package adds a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, and a powered tonneau cover. Entering the sweepstakes could not be easier. Just go to charitystars.com/electrified, link below, scroll down and choose your donation level and the corresponding entries. Plug in a minimal amount of information and boom, you're in. If you use the link in the description below, my coupon code electrified should already be applied at checkout for your 100 free entries. Thank you to all of you for supporting the channel and best of luck. Cars.com has named the Tesla Model Y the best electric vehicle of 2022. This is Cars.com's inaugural Best Electric Vehicle Award, but they really don't share any new information. It's very high level. However, still good to see Tesla Model Y win the award. Elon commented on this Fox News article. He said, switching to renewables with batteries would avoid blackouts. Batteries are essential due to the intermittent nature of renewables. Apparently, the Washington Post was getting all kinds of criticism and negative feedback for saying that switching completely to renewable energy could avoid blackouts. The Post cited a recent study by Stanford University. I will link that below. I have not yet had a chance to read it. Using simulations that assumed use of electric car or hydrogen fuel cell vehicles and fossil fuel sources of energy being completely replaced, the study found that total end-use energy demand decreased by around 57%, and per capita household annual energy costs were around 63% less than a business-as-usual scenario. Once again, the full study linked below. Replying to a whole Mars FSD beta drive, Elon said V11 is explosion emoji. Not sure if that's the best emoji to use, but I think you get the picture. Now, to be fair, Elon hypes up a lot of the new releases for FSD, but once again, we're continuing that trend. To be fair, this is supposed to be the single stack neural network architecture. In response to a Teslarati article on Elon alleging that the SEC leaked info from a federal investigation, he said, "This is just peeling back the first layer of the corruption onion. Stay tuned." The latest development here is Elon now accusing the SEC of a staff member illegally leaking results of an investigation. Elon's lawyers have sent a letter to the agency's inspector general requesting an investigation of the agency's conduct in its probes of Tesla. And the letter said this leak is emblematic of the vindictive and improper conduct, basically of the SEC. The Model S production lines were actually shut down temporarily yesterday to make some of these headlight and rear changes. From Sawyer, the Matrix LED headlights and the updated taillights will be on all new Model S's built going forward, as well as the removal of that black strip on the back of the Plaid that many people wish wasn't going away. An update on Giga Berlin, apparently the critics are still up in arms over the water supply concerns. Teslarati was reporting that a legal challenge is poised to go to court in the next week, and local authorities have acknowledged the water supply may not suffice once the facility is ramped. That is the key part, as the initial production of about 500,000 vehicles, that water supply is secured and under contract as far as we know. It's really the expansion ramp that is now being questioned. And Jörg Steinbach has said exactly that, saying, when Tesla rolls out expansions to the site, we will need more. For what it's worth, Gary Black was saying there are now more delays for Giga Berlin's approval, while Alex, who has been following the situation closely, said that nope, that's not true. There are no new delays over the water situation issue. From Europe's Auto News, Tesla is reportedly postponing expansion of Giga Berlin, as the so-called mirroring or the constructing of a second identical Gigafactory outside of Berlin has been postponed indefinitely. Elon said he wants Tesla to focus instead on starting cell manufacturing and ramping up car production to the plant's planned 500,000 initial unit capacity. As it stands under Tesla's current approvals, I believe they're allowed to make up to 2,000 vehicle bodies, which based on this recent drone flyover shows they are presumably doing just that. My question for you guys is, what happens with all of these non-production test vehicles? I know that some go for crash testing and other testing, but what happens with the rest? I mean, that's a lot of vehicles. For me at this point, a March approval would still seem like a win. And here we have West Virginia trying to top Oklahoma's anti-Tesla lunacy. In a letter from the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, they are opposing this new bill coming out of West Virginia. They said it would harm consumers in order to benefit auto dealers, as this new bill, 4560, was introduced by the Dealership Trade Association. Here's the language. It would cause warranty and recall repair work to be performed by any entity other than a new motor vehicle dealer, including post-sale software and hardware upgrades or changes to vehicle function and features and accessories for new motor vehicles sold by a licensed new motor vehicle dealer. Provided, however, this language shall not include any post-sale software upgrades to the motor vehicle's navigation or entertainment system. So basically, representatives in West Virginia are pushing to disallow all OTA updates unless it's for navigation or the entertainment system. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see any way this bill would actually protect consumers or really protect anyone other than the current dealers who want vehicles to continuously come back to the dealers. I'll send you guys off with what I thought was a hilarious clip where Tesla got some love in a South Park episode. No, I don't watch South Park, but I did think this bit was funny. The part where people were shouting LaCroix had me dying. So please like the video if you did. Have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.
Bottled water, bottled water, bottled water, bottled water. Tesla, we have a Tesla.
Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi? Is there Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi, bottled water. Oh, bottled water.
Wi-Fi?
Metal bottled water. Wi-Fi. Oh, LaCroix. Tesla, 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 Tesla. LaCroix, 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 Tesla. Sounds like a shitty people. Pilates. Cortado. Bottled water. Metal bottled water. LaCroix.
LaCroix!
Metal bottled water.
Edamame!
Edamame. Metal bottle.